beautiful friends. My name is Carrie Cox, and welcome to my channel where we learn how to use our personal power to build a connection between our mind, body, and spirit. Today, we're going to talk about the heart activation that happens within a twin flame union. So, when I met my twin, we had experienced symptoms leading up to this. The only way I can describe is this moment of the most intense, energetic explosion within my own body. And in the beginning, when I had met my twin, and all of this in the meeting of that was waking me up spiritually, I didn't understand any of this or any of these concepts until a couple months after we had been in a relationship together, and I had to figure out what I was going through and what all these things meant, because I was having all these signs and symptoms. And so that's how I kind of stumbled upon finding out what a twin flame relationship, or what a twin flame even was, and what the purpose of it. And so for many years, I would tell people or explain to people that after meeting my twin, I had a spontaneous Kundalini awakening. What had happened that I thought was a Kundalini awakening was actually called a heart activation. And when you first come into physical contact with your twin flame, so if you're only communicating with your twin flame over text or email or whatever, it doesn't happen until you are physically close to your twin flame. When your auras touch, which all of our auras extend out up to 6 feet in length. And so when you're within 6 feet reach of your twin flame physically and your auras touch, there is this activation that starts to happen within the energetic field of both of the twins. And what happens is that there's this draw that happens even before you come into physical contact. So you could have never had a conversation with your twin, be in a room with them. So let's just say you're in a restaurant and they're on the other side of the restaurant. You may feel this magnetic pull to that person, almost like you're literally being pulled to them, and you're being drawn to them, and you don't know why. You don't understand what's happening, and it could literally draw you across the room. And I remember having a conversation with a client of mine. He was on my table, and whenever I'm around twin flame energy, I can sense it. I can feel it when it's been activated. There is this familiar feeling. And so once you know what that feeling is, you can spot it on other people. And I had mentioned to him, I had started asking him some questions about his relationship with his wife, and I had told him that I thought he may be a twin flame and explained what it was. And he told me the story about when they met. And they actually met at a bar one night. And he explained, like, they were like literally drawn to each other, and they didn't understand why. And they sat in that bar until the bar closed, and they couldn't pull themselves away from each other. And they've been together ever since. And so it is this magnetic pull that happens between twins, drawing them together. And then once their auras meet, now what starts to happen are these pre-symptoms of this heart chakra awakening that's going to happen. Now, I think when I met my twin, it was the beginning of 2018. And so I don't know timing perfectly, but it was somewhere in about the second month of our relationship, I want to say. Either the second or the third month of our relationship that our heart chakra actually like bust open. So what was happening is we were experiencing all these symptoms, and our heart chakra was being stimulated. And so we were having these experiences, and it wasn't just me, it was him, because I would go to him and say, these weird things are happening to me. This is happening, that's happening. And he would agree. He'd say, the same thing is happening to me. And so it wasn't like this was one-sided. We were both experiencing these symptoms and shifts within us. And some of these symptoms could look like heart palpitations. You could feel like warmth in your chest. maybe a burning in your chest, a burning over your heart chakra. You could feel like your heart is like literally physically aching. These are physical symptoms, and it's important to know that you don't have any other medical conditions. You know, you're a healthy person, and all of a sudden, these weird things start happening, these symptoms, then it could be because of this heart activation that's taking place within your body and within your energetic body. I remember in those times, just like when we were away from one another, like if we were away at work, I had this like achingness, like this intense desire to be close to him, and I could like literally feel him. I knew what he was feeling. I knew when he was happy and when he was upset, and we weren't even in the same physical space. I was highly confused because I didn't understand all of this. I didn't have any experiences with feeling energy or sensing energy. So it was all very new and scary and crazy in the beginning. But what happens is when we're kids, we're born with this open heart. We are very sensitive and feeling everything through our heart chakra. And it starts to get shut down when we're that energetically sensitive, and we start experiencing these 3D experiences like loss and pain and hurt. And we don't know what to do with those feelings or emotions. If we don't have guidance from the adults in our life where we can talk about our feelings and process through them, we start to feel unsafe. Maybe in our childhood, we had parents that went through a divorce, or we lost a parent due to death, or maybe we just had parents that didn't know how to show the type of love and attention we needed. And so we start to feel unsafe. And in order to find this sense of safety, what we do is we basically close down our heart chakra, and we start to put a wall around our heart so that we can protect it and keep it safe. So it's all about trying to feel safe because we've developed this false belief that we can't trust love. So it's a way of guarding ourselves and protecting ourselves so that we can handle, all the things that life's going to throw at us. Well, over time of having these walls around our heart, what starts to happen is we can start to manifest some physical symptoms. And if you check out my video, which I will link below, on the heart chakra, you can see based on the physical and emotional symptoms if you have a closed or open heart. But some things may start happening like chronic fatigue or resentment or feelings of loneliness. And so we start blocking ourselves from being able to give or receive love. And then we meet this person, and bam, our heart just explodes open. And you have this deep connection with someone that you hardly even know. You start to experience these intense feelings of pure unconditional love, and you barely even know this person, which can be quite confusing and very scary to say the least. So at some point, which I think happened around the second or third month that my twin flame and I were together in a relationship, you may have this physical moment that happens between the two of you. And ours happened in an intimate moment where you feel this overwhelming like warmth in your body that just touches like every cell of your body. And you might feel tingling and energy moving. And what I remember feeling was this intense ball of energy, like rising up from my gut, coming into my heart and just exploding open. And I remember feeling this sense of energy come through my chest and out my arms and out of my hands and into my twin. And my hands were on him. And I remember him like freaking out because he felt this same thing, this wave of energy rise up and like explode open his heart, and it freaked him out. And I remember we were like, what was that? And so I did a ton of research, and I thought it was a Kundalini Rising that was happening, because through the description of a Kundalini Rising, that's exactly what it sounded like. But now that I understand energy and chakras, and I'm actually a Reiki master and I can feel energy, I know that our throat chakra and our heart, or our throat chakra and our third eye were blocked. And so when that energy shot up and blew open our heart, it could no longer travel upward because of that blockage in the throat chakra. So it burst out and dissipated. What is supposed to happen in a Kundalini Rising is the energy is supposed to collect at the root chakra and rise up to the crown chakra. And as it's rising up, that energy clears out all of the blocks in the chakra, which did happen for us. It opened and cleared all of our centers up until it got to that blockage. It could no longer get any higher. So my suggestion for twin flames out there, or even just people on a solo path, is work on opening your chakras, do the inner work, and work on your own blockages and clearing that path so that when you do come into union with your twin flame, that Kundalini can rise all the way up to the head and it's not going to get stuck. I do this chakra clearing and healing work with people, and I'll put a link down to the link below in the description box if you are interested in having a session, which we do over Zoom. I've been doing this with twin flames, and it's interesting because the ones who have not had this physical heart chakra opening yet, because they haven't come into physical, like haven't had a physical relationship or an intimate relationship with their twin, they all have closed off heart chakras, and they have some other centers too that are closed. Well, they have the opportunity to clear those other centers and open those other centers. And what that will do is magnetically draw in their twin flame to them. And then when they do have this activation, that Kundalini can rise all the way up and it won't get stuck as it did for my twin flame and I. So currently my twin and I are doing the healing work, healing, our throat chakra and third eye chakra blockages come from past life wounds, and we are working through those wounds so that when that energy does want to rise, it can rise all the way up. But in this video, we're talking about the heart chakra activation because it's important to know and understand what that is, because what happens is when that heart chakra explodes open, you now have this deep understanding that we are all one and that we are one with source. And you also have this deep understanding of what pure unconditional love feels like, because you can feel it for your twin flame. Because that energy is so crazy and you become so vulnerable in that moment, that can create this runner-chaser complex that happens with some twin flames, because you're knocking down those walls and all of these crazy intense feelings are happening, and all of a sudden you're experiencing vulnerability and that wall comes down and the fear can creep in, and the fear says, I don't want to get hurt. I've never felt like this in my whole life, but I don't want to get hurt. And so what happens is either one of the twins or both of the twins will figure out how to sabotage the relationship and get out of it and run from it because of their fear of getting hurt, their fear of rejection, their fear of abandonment. All of these fears that are creeping in, they play out, and one or both of the twins start buying into those fears. And we have to remember that fear stands for false evidence appearing real. So these are just illusions that happen, but they're illusions that are happening so that we can set them free, so we can break free of them. And so what happens is usually the runner, who will become the one who is most vulnerable, will actually cut off this connection before the other one can hurt them. So they are so vulnerable and so much in fear that they cut the tie off, they cut the connection off, and they run. And they're only running because they're in fear that the other person is going to run first. And so they figure, hell, I'm getting out of here while I can. Now, what you have to do if you're the chaser is look at that and say, let me flip that perspective onto me. Instead of outwardly directing it at the runner, let me focus that attention on me and say, what am I in fear of? Why do I want to run? And figure out what that is and clear those blocks. And what will happen is you will make this energetic shift where that energy will actually draw that runner back into you when you focus the spotlight back on you. And so we want to, once we focus that back on us, we want to start healing all of our chakras, because that energy is going to start to back up if we have blocks and some of our chakras are closed. So I hear a lot of twins, especially the ones that are in separation, a lot of people or people who don't know their twin flame. Is it possible for me to open my heart chakra on my own without coming in and having that physical heart chakra activation with my twin? And the answer is yes. We all have what we need within us. It's just a matter of discovering that. And so when we decide to go on this journey of opening our chakras on our own, we can definitely do it by practicing self-love and self-care, because we have to show ourselves that unconditional love that in a twin flame relationship, our twin is showing us that and we're mirroring it back to ourselves. You would just be doing it for yourself. So yes, it is possible for you to open your own heart chakra. I have worked on many people who have open heart chakras and don't know who their twin flame is. So it is possible. It just happens spontaneously and very quickly when you meet and come in contact with your twin flame. So in conclusion, I just want to say that when your twin flame comes into your life, they're going to crack open your heart chakra. It's going to allow you to feel love in the sense of the 5D, which is pure unconditional love, which you're not used to, because here in the 3D, we love very conditionally, which here in the 3D, we love on conditions and terms. And so this is going to be a whole different level of love. And it's going to allow us to be more aligned and connected to ourself, our twin, and the divine source, or God, whatever word you want to use. It will allow you to feel more connected to your higher self and to the world around you. You'll start to feel one with everything, from people to plants to nature to animals. You will start to see that oneness in everything. And when our heart chakra is open, we feel more joy, more compassion, more empathy, and we start to bring more abundance into our life. Our quality of life gets better and our vibration starts to raise. And so we start to move to higher states of consciousness. We're moving through that ascension process by having this heart chakra activation from meeting our twin flame. And so I hope this video helped anyone out there who may be feeling these crazy, intense, passionate energies from meeting their twin, and who have had a heart chakra activation and physically felt it and were confused by it. I hope this shed light on it. And leave your comments and questions below. And namaste.